my dance make it hurt.
Hello, everyone. My name is Wayne Malcolm. I'm the JALT Director of Program, and today we are going to talk with Michele Steele, who is the Best of JALT Coordinator, and she kind of started the whole thing, but she will tell you her story. But that's what we're going to be talking about today is Best of JALT. So, Michele, why don't you introduce yourself, talk a little bit, and tell us a little bit about how Best of JALT started, and yeah, give us a little overview of it.
Okay, so I'm Michele Steele, the Vesta JALT coordinator, and I was president of Gunma JALT for many years. And Margaret Orleans was in charge. She was the Vesta JALT coordinator. At that time, there was no ceremony. It was just, ceremony. It was just kind of wedged in between presentations or something. You'd look
That's
on the
right.
program,
Yeah.
Vesta JALT, and I would go just because I thought, well, this is, Vesta JALT. What's that all about? And I'd go, and the room would be emptying out from a presentation, empty, and then there would be a few people, poor
Just kind
things,
of
would
hanging
go up
about.
and take the floor, waiting, and then people filing in for the next presentation. But people were not going for these awards. I mean, people really didn't even know anything about it. And Margaret, I mean, she diligently every year she'd send out a note to the presidents. And as I said, I was president of Gunma JALT. And every year I would nominate. And I remember once she wrote to me and said, "Thank you for always nominating someone, because not everyone does." And I thought, well, why not? It's such a wonderful thing. And it's an easy thing,
Yeah.
why discuss it among the officers and we can talk about guidelines for that. But why wouldn't they? It's not like a hassle or something. Oh, got to do that vested job. It was a pleasure. And anyway, so that's how it was with Margaret. She would make the awards and put together the list and all the jobs that I did, but it didn't include a big ceremony. As I said, it was squeezed in where they could fit it.
Yeah.
And one year it was Brian Cullen, and he was a co-presenter with someone, and I can't remember. I don't know if it was Jim Smiley, but definitely Brian Cullen. He's a friend of mine, and I remember that he won for a chapter or a SIG, and the Festa Jalt Award was being given out between the OGM and the EVM. So
Okay.
whoever was winning had to kind of go there and sit through part of this meeting that maybe they didn't want to go to. And sometimes those meetings can go on. And I remember watching them, and it wasn't for Gunma, so I didn't, I didn't know it wasn't my dog in the race or whatever it was. But they were there, I knew, to get their awards. And I was watching them, and I saw them leave before the awards were given out. And I remember thinking, that's just not right.
Mm.
They came here to receive an award, and then they're waiting till this meeting's over, and they don't know when it's going to end. None of us. When is it going to end?
Technically, those meetings are supposed to be 1 hour, but sometimes they get a little,
Right,
sometimes a
right,
little lively.
right. And I think they just realized, maybe, are we in the right place or something? And then actually, another year, it was Gunma's winner. Oh, Stephen Quasha was a winner for Gunma. And anyway, there was a turning point where I just thought, hey, come on now. I wanted to see these people get recognized, and um, there needs to be an event just for this, because I was always excited. Oh, Gunma, let's see our winner get their award. And there was never a place for it. So it was at an EVM once where I brought it up and said, let's, oh, I think it was that one where Brian left. I think I stood up, because the EVM follows the
Yeah.
OGM. And I said, you know what, look at this Best of JALT Award. Let's either scrap the whole thing altogether or really do something with it. But to have it just kind of floating in limbo as, is it a thing or is it not a thing? it's not really giving the recognition it deserves. If it's a thing, let's make it a thing.
Yeah.
And then there were some people at the meeting who were saying, "Oh, we're too busy. You think we've got time to have something to all the things we discussed today?" And I said, "Don't worry about it. I'll do it. I'm volunteering to do it." And there were some people who said, "If you want to do it, go ahead." Uh, there were some people with that attitude. It was pretty unanimous that there wasn't a lot of excitement about, "Oh, let's have this new thing." But there were some people who said, "Yeah, try it out, see how it works." There were a few people who said, "I don't know, how do you choose the best? Who's the best, really?" Some people got pretty philosophical about it and said, "What really is the best? How can we really say what's the best in life?" And I'm thinking, hey, this is not the Nobel Peace Prize here, but
No, I
you
was
know,
about to say. I
we
was like, this
got
is
it
not.
anyway.
This isn't the Nobel Peace Prize for like literature or like science or something. You're talking about the best.
Right. We've got it anyway.
Yeah.
Let's either make something of it or just get rid of it. But let's
Yeah.
not have a sad affair where the winners come up to get an award and no one's there to
Yeah. Yeah.
celebrate. So the first year it was in Nagoya, and it was, I guess, 10
Just a
years
moment
ago.
before, yeah, before you go on about the Nagoya part, I just want to give people a little, just a very quick background, just
Okay.
very quick
Well,
about what Best of Jolt is that
okay.
it's a chapters, JALT chapters and JALT SIG coordinators, JALT
Yes.
chapter presidents, JALT SIG coordinators. They get their officers together and then they look at what were the kind of the presentations that they had over the past calendar year, and they choose, the best presentation that they thought was the best presentation
Yeah.
over the previous calendar year. And chapters and states can make that choice however they want. It can be the officers who make the choice. Sometimes the officers send a message out to the general membership, to the actual membership of the chapter or sig, and say, hey, which presentation do you think was the best? And then that one then gets nominated for best of Jolt, and then Michelle takes care of uh, collating all those nominations, puts them up, and then we give them certificates at the conference.
Right. And
Yeah,
I think that
just a
was
quick overview.
the issue for some people is it's going to be a popularity contest. But I haven't found that. I don't know. Maybe people are voting for their friends. I have faith in the JALT members.
Yeah,
A lot of times they will send me reasons for these reasons. And here's a summary of what they presented, or here's notes from the meeting or something. But I have not found that to be the case. I
yeah,
don't think it was, and I don't think it changed. But regardless, it was always there. We had this award for years and years, even before we had the ceremony. So
yeah,
nothing changed, except that we had it in a more public forum.
yeah.
But yes, you said you can choose it how you want. There are guidelines. I think you can talk with your other officers
Hmm.
and decide your criteria. But I feel that people have been I have faith that they've chosen based on, criteria, and if it seems useful, if the participants seemed engaged, and various, you can discuss with each other. For chapters, it's presentations.
Yeah,
For seats, because they don't have a lot of gatherings, it's presentations or publications.
yeah.
So you can award, sometimes they, for an article in a
For an
journal or
article in
something.
a journal. Yeah. Okay. So you're about to talk about Nagoya, the
Yeah,
kind of
Nagoya.
first.
So that was the first year. And I'm trying to think of what year it was. It was the year I also invited Anna Walzer. I don't know if you
Oh
remember
yeah,
her.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
She, it's a whole different thing, but I saw her on the Daily Show, and I found a way to contact her. Actually, I found her on Facebook and wrote her and said, would you ever consider coming to Japan? So I had that going. Yep. Witness
Yep.
in
There we go.
Palestine. That was the same year, whatever year it was that Anna came. It was in Nagoya, and it was
Yep.
just about 10 years ago. and it's probably exactly 10 years ago. But so that was the first thing, and we had the first time we had a sponsor, English Central,
Mm.
and we didn't have a budget at all. I also asked chapters and SIGs for
Yeah, that's
donations.
right. That's right. Those are
Whatever
the
they
donation
could.
days. Those are the donation days.
Yes, I'd send out, oh gosh, I felt like sometimes begging from door to door. But um, sometimes people would chip in 3,000 or 10,000. And I remember, wow, the big chapter just donated a lot. But that's what it was down
For
to.
that, it's for that cheese. It's for those cheese and crackers.
Right. Do they have some more cheese? But it was just trial, completely trial. And it was a success. It was a small room. And
Yeah,
so
I
it
think
was,
that first year in Nagoya, it was the other half of the SIG room where the SIGs were.
yes,
The
that's
other half of
right.
that room. So
There's a photo of that. Maybe that photo will be displayed. But there were panels of the SIGs behind me at the mic in the party, so you could see. We just moved the SIGs out and moved the party in. But it turned out to be really popular. But I remember at the night I said, "Hey, can I have your attention, please?" We were talking before we were recording about how noisy it could get. And can please, please, we're here for a reason here. Does everyone know? I don't know. There's cheese and crackers and wine. But I said, do you all know about the vestige hall? So many people didn't know. And so I think it needed to be publicized
yeah,
because
yeah,
it's like we've had this thing all these years. And I mean, the wine and cheese and crackers were definitely a draw, I think. But once they got in,
I would say that was a good draw. The wine,
once
the
they
wine,
got in
cheese
that
crack.
door, it's like, okay, this is just a JALT thing. Because from that year, every year the nominations were increasing,
Yeah.
which was such a pleasure to see.
Mm.
As I said, I was always thrilled when Margaret was doing it to send in Gunlas. Sure, we all will participate this year. But it was just so nice to see more and more groups getting involved.
Mm. Yeah.
That was the first year, Nagoya. And then, of course, last year was Nagoya. It
Yeah, it's right. It's a nice little 10 year. Was it 10 years or some of that?
was about a 10-year run. It was
Yeah,
somewhere in between. It was in Nagoya 4 years ago or something. It was at Shooters in Nagoya.
that's
That
right.
was the
I would
first
say there
time
was another one where we did it offsite, right? We did it
right,
offsite. Yeah.
Shooters. You were at that one?
Yep, yep, yep. I was front row shushing people all over the place by the pool table as
Okay.
well. Yep.
Right, that's right. Because you had the pool table and food and all that.
Yeah.
But it was, I don't know why we did it at Shooters that year.
Yeah, I think that year it was I don't know if it was the venue thing or we just wanted to experiment or what it was, but it ended up being at Shooters, and it ended up being, yeah, we had the basically we had the whole place up until a certain time, right? We had like something like from like 8 to like 10 or something like that, or like 7 to 10. We had the bar, and then after that, there are like literally people outside waiting to come in because the guy's like, "Hey, this is going to turn back into a regular bar."
That's right.
People will come in, and basically your tabs are back at zero. So whatever you have now, you just have to pay out, and then the rest is you're going to start paying on your own after like 9 o'clock or something like that, right after a set time.
It was
But
so funny that year. Andy Boone, of course,
yeah.
and he was a winner that year. And he wrote something on my Facebook page because I started to announce it on Facebook
Hmm.
once it got going. And he wrote something. Hooters? Did you say Hooters? And all these people on my Facebook thread. And I was, Andy, come on, Andy. You're not Hooters, Shooters. Well, he's such a card anyway. But then when I was handing out the awards, I thought, well, that's odd that Andy wouldn't be here. He wasn't there when I was handing out the awards, but he showed up just at the very end of the presentation and got up to the stage and whispered in my ear, "I'm sorry I'm late. The taxi driver, he took me to Hooters." And I mean, I thought that's just Andy being Andy, but I think it really did happen that way.
Probably it probably did happen that way.
And, and the cab driver took them to Hooters after all that. But usually it was at the venue.
Yeah, at the
It has
venue. Yep. Yeah,
been
usually
a
we have it at the venue. Yeah, and now it's evolved and it has its own budget, and occasionally
that's
it
right.
even gets a sponsor, like one of the publishers decides
Yes,
to
last year
sponsor
it was
it.
Oxford.
Yeah, it was a sponsor, so that increases the quality of the food.
Yes, that was great. I never had time to eat the food. I always just rely on what people say, but it was really nice. We were grateful to have Oxford last year. English Central, I think, sponsored for the first 3 years or
Yeah, I think they
so.
did the first 3 years, so
Right.
there's always
And
been
I was
sort of a
collecting
history of that.
money. I was collecting money for several years though,
Yeah,
because sometimes I still get emails saying, "Do you want some donations this year?" And
yeah.
gee, remember those days? It was like
Oh man.
selling Girl Scout cookies or something.
So, what do you think in your tenure in your time of overseeing Best of Jolt, from basically like a regular kind of certificate that people get to this kind of like real central ceremonial kind of thing, event that is happening at the conference every year? What do you like? Where do you see the highlight? Like, what's like your kind of high moment for Best of Jolt?
Hmm, I know. Well, as I said, seeing it increase in popularity every
Mhm.
year was great, and the recognition that people now know about it. Um, and there have just been wonderful musicians performing. One
Yeah.
year we had a bagpipe player, Callum. That was exciting. As I said before we started rolling, there was a turning point at Kobe when things were just not organized. I mean, there were things that I had forgotten to, I had not the screen for the names to be displayed or things like that, that just like everything needs to be done. And
Mm.
I was trying to do this all myself. And that year it was a turning point where I realized, okay, I need help. I need pink shirts. And sure, they were there to help. I need someone
Pink shirts,
to
the conference team volunteers, conference volunteers.
volunteers.
Yep.
And yeah, okay, I need these things. All I had to do was ask. And then, how many do you need? And oh, it made all the difference in the world after those first few years and just seeing what was needed and then realizing, okay. And then we had social chairs and these jobs getting done and
Mm.
then fine tuning it, learning from last year what went wrong. Oh, I think this was not on camera yet, not recorded yet. A turning point was to start serving the alcohol after we gave out the awards. And people
Yes.
would, they would come up to me the next morning and say, "Great party last night." Some of them would just say, "Great party last night." But some would say, "Word to the wise, you serve the wine after you get the awards." And, I hesitated because I thought, well, I don't want to invite someone to a reception and then they've been at conferences all day and they're tired and hungry. But I
Yeah.
didn't realize how quickly it really could go. And then one year, I think it was that year after COVID, we had everything covered. Maybe it was Hamamatsu. I think it was Hamamatsu.
Yeah, that was another one.
And
Hamilton. Yeah.
guard the food and the drinks and just give out the awards first. And it was brilliant. And it was a lot quicker. I was worried to invite people, come to the party, come to the reception. And then they get there and they're empty handed. And this
Yeah.
is not very welcoming.
Yeah.
But everyone understood. And it's like, sure, this is the
Yeah.
ceremony. We're giving out the awards. After that, give the toast and get the party started.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Was
Get
a
it going.
game
Get that dance floor going.
that was a game changer. Just
Yeah.
and that's just another example of fine tuning it every year, realizing it. But that was the biggest change. The
Yeah.
most noticeable one is just ceremony first, and then food and drinks and party time.
Yeah. How about, so this year is going to be very different, to say the least. How do you picture Best of Jolt happening with the online conference, this online venue that we have here? Best of Jolt Zoom version, or like how do you see that?
Yeah, I actually wanted to ask you about that because you told me that it's scheduled. I didn't realize it would be
Hmm.
scheduled.
Well,
And
that's what like you just said. One of the things about Best of Jolt is we just assume it's going to happen. So
right,
it gets put on the schedule regardless. Now it just gets put on schedule automatically because we're like, well, of course we're gonna have Best of Jolt. Why wouldn't we have Best of Jolt? Like, it's always there, right? Like, so why wouldn't we have it?
that just
So
makes me so happy, and
yeah.
so happy for the winners because it became more meaningful. It
Mm,
really did. And before it was just, yeah, that's a Jalt winner. I got the award. But now it's just, I'm one of the winners this year. Where do I go? Where do I sit? And it's just, you can just see the change and how meaningful it has become.
mm.
And again, the award always existed, but now it's part of the conference.
Yeah,
And
it's an automatic Saturday night 7 to 9 ish in that block. We just block it out. Boom, Best of Jolt, and I think everybody just expects it to happen. Like this is going to happen. So um, this year, no, yeah, we'll sit down. I mean, we don't have to talk about all the knick-knacky
right,
details here, but yeah,
I
we'll definitely sit down and get all those knick-knacky details done because obviously there's going to be like some kind of PowerPoint slideshow presentation and there will be certificates and all those other things. So all those traditional things will happen. Um, uh, there may not be a dance floor this year. The dance floor will have to be at people's houses themselves and drinks and stuff. But we'll definitely still carry on. Yeah, Best of Jaws ain't going anywhere.
I have a feeling that our friends will be glad to provide music. So I'm glad we're having this conversation right now because, as I said, with COVID and everything, I thought, what's the conference even going to be like? But yeah,
Yeah,
make the best of this situation. I can ask some
yeah.
people if they want to play some music. How about you? In do you have? I mean, I see that the time slot is pretty much the same
Hmm.
with Zoom, and I wonder how many people will be uh, participating on Zoom. I haven't been to any huge events on Zoom. I've been to classes with
Hmm.
20 or less, but not an event. I think you've done a lot
Yeah,
more with
this
Zoom.
this I'm not a person who toots their own horn or self promotion or anything like that, but I will say JALT is gonna be quite an experience um, because this is a conference that we've taken the regular face to face conference and put it online, and we're not really sparing any presentations. 450 plus presentations, 5 plenary speakers, a week of conferencing, and
A week.
yeah.
Oh, so you
So the
spread it out
16th,
over.
yeah, 16th to the 23rd, we've spread it out so meetings can be during the week, and a lot of other stuff can be on the weekends. And we have a new emergency remote teaching and learning thread that we opened up. You know, call that we opened up, and we got some good proposals for that. So there's a lot going into this conference that even in a face-to-face conference we never had. So the scale of what we're doing is so big, and um, and on top of that, yeah, we're keeping those things like Best of Jolt. We may not have an official, like usually we have, like on Friday night we have some kind of welcome reception,
Welcome party, right?
um, but we are definitely having Best of Jolt. That's almost like um, yeah, there's no compromising that. There's no compromising where that fits into the schedule. That's just going to fit into the schedule, and then we'll just work it. We'll just work it however we're going to work it for the online sphere. Whether that's okay, we'll do a PowerPoint slideshow, and let it run and people can watch it and have the, or whether it's, yeah, let's try to get all the presenters together, all the best of JALT winners together, make sure they're at the, they're on the Zoom session, and then we can have them hold up their certificates or whatever. So we'll work out those details. Uh, but one thing we do know is Best of Jolt will be in the house
Winning.
Saturday night, and the legacy will continue for Best of Jolt in a very strong way. So that's definitely going to happen. And this time, whatever happens on the Zoom in the Zoom session, it gets recorded. Like we can record the whole thing if we want to. So we'll be
Well,
able
I'll
to.
certainly miss having you as my dance partner because I could
Yes,
always count on seeing you on the floor.
yes, yes. I think that's probably one of my biggest highlights of Best of Jolt is seeing it turn into really a well attended um, social, oh, social professional kind of networking event for the conference, kind of like an anchor for the conference. Like, okay, we know this is happening, you know, but it's not a plenary, it's not a workshop, it's not this, but it's a nice social event that has really good networking situations, and there's no pressure to do a lot. I mean, of course, if you're sponsoring something, maybe yes, but um, the presenters show up, get their awards, everything is happy, and people have food, good drink, good food generally, and yeah, and then we have some fun. We have some
Right.
fun. We dance, and sometimes there's live music. I
Every
think
year
our
it's been like music.
yeah,
We had it's shooters. There wasn't,
yeah, yeah,
but every year sometimes we mixed it with DJs.
yeah,
After shooters, we included DJ things because I realized actually before shooters that was the first year that I danced at Festival, and I love. We're both
yeah.
dancers. I mean, you may be a lover, but you ain't no dancer. We're dancers. But that year, it was at Shooters, first of all. So I didn't feel like I was so much on the clock because I always took it so, oh, I'm just a JALT coordinator. I've got things to do, no time for dancing. But that year I thought, hey, sure, I can dance. And, they were self serving their drinks and everything. It
Yeah,
was going up to the bar. So I felt like, yeah, I can dance. Everything's running smoothly.
you can dance
And
if you want
after that
to.
year, every year,
Need no alibi.
yeah, there aren't enough opportunities in life to dance. I'll take every one of them. So every year since then, but yeah, what you're saying about Vestige Out, there's food, there's fun, there's dancing. I just see it as a win-win for everyone. The winners win, the
Yeah,
guests win. It's just a very positive experience. And there's so much negativity in the world anyway. And then people get nervous with their presentations or stressed. I mean,
yeah,
conferences can be stressful. Just deciding which presentation you want to go to.
yeah,
And
exactly.
then to just have something that is just so fun and carefree.
Yeah,
Uh, I just love that about the event, that it's just pure positivity, pure joy. That's what I hope it is, and that's what I think it is.
yeah. I think that's great, and maybe actually that's a really good place to kind of wrap up our little talk about Best of Jolt. Is that yeah, exactly how you left it right there. Really positive.
Pure positivity and
Yeah,
pure joy. In fact,
yeah,
that could be the tagline. Come to Best of Job. Pure
there,
positivity and pure joy.
yeah.
But yeah, I think it's just something that everyone can enjoy. And I
No,
do hope, I hope that a lot of people will enjoy it this year. And I just hats off to you all for organizing the whole conference.
no, there's a
It's
team. Yeah, there's a team of people that are just
different.
working their fingers and minds and everything to the bone, to the
Right?
synapses and everything. They're just it's an amazing team really, and it kind of humbles you when you are out front of that and you realize that there's this amazing team that are just putting all this stuff together, and yeah, you're helping coordinate and stuff like that, but it's such an amazing team of people, and they all have day jobs.
No,
They're not
people
conference or yeah, they all have they
forget
all, people
that the
forget that.
conference planners are, or they're volunteers.
Yeah,
Or
so they
anytime there
either
are complaints, you just feel like
yeah,
all these people are giving their
they're
time to
teachers.
make this happen.
Yeah, they're teachers,
And
and they're doing what they're doing, and they got families, and they got aunts and uncles and grandparents and parents and kids and everything to deal with, pets and other commitments, and they all find a way to stick Jolt into their busy schedule and then make a conference like this. It's amazing. It's really truly amazing.
and
So
we talked earlier, and then we will finish. That we talked earlier about boots on the ground before we were on record.
yeah,
How COVID, you were saying it just changed everything in a day. And yeah, go into the classroom and suddenly you're teaching because COVID, and then the semester started. But about the conference too, I mean, everything changed for you all,
yeah.
and you're able to pull this off is just amazing.
Well, we haven't pulled it off yet. We're it's I don't want to speak too soon. I will give accolades to the conference team about what they're doing and how they're preparing and stuff. But yeah, so we still got a big step to actually pull this off. But yeah, but if you would ask me 6 months ago, can this get done? I was probably a lot more nervous. Ask me now, and I'm very much like, yeah. I mean, we got some good people. We can definitely pull this off. We can get this done. We just got to keep our nose to the grind and focus, and then, um, you know. But I will say, I am looking forward to Best of Jolt because if we get to Best of Jolt in the conference, that means we're almost there. We're almost there.
And what's the date on the Vestige Alt?
Yeah. So Best of Jolt is the 21st. That
21st.
November, yeah, Saturday, November 21st.
Okay.
Best of Jolt in the evening, 7 to 9 in that block of time.
And then when is the opening, if there's not a reception anyway, the opening event of the conference this year?
Yeah, the
What,
official opening ceremony is going to be the Saturday morning.
before? Oh, that
So,
Saturday.
yeah, that's Saturday. So that Saturday, the 21st, the Saturday is going to be the opening ceremony. Even though the conference will be going on like this from the 16th, the website goes up, everything goes live, and people can actually enter and see and click and see things and whatnot. Officially.
Okay. Well, it's
So,
exciting. And thank you so much for doing this interview and letting me tell the story because it means a lot to me. You know, you talking about
no,
having
well,
kids
yeah,
now. I have not been active myself in making presentations or public writing publications, but that's something that I have done and I have given my time to, and I'm so happy to be able to talk about it. It is, I mean, it might be hard for people to imagine, but it's just one of the great pleasures of my life giving this, giving to JALT in this way, because JALT has given so much to me
yeah.
that
Well, I
I
would
have
probably
been able to do something.
yeah. I think
Uh,
I don't usually like to speak for large groups of people, but I think I can safely speak for all of Jolt and say that we I don't think there's a percent high enough, thousand, 10,000, million% appreciate you. Well, obviously, just as a person, we appreciate you, Michelle, and all that you have done for Jolt, will do for Jolt, are doing for Jolt, um, keeping this thing Best of Jolt going and everything going. And it's something that, yeah, yeah, just brings joy to everyone, and it kind of just epitomizes your general persona, aura, and everything that, yeah, you bring joy to everyone that you see, meet, touch, hang out with, and I think everyone in Jolt, if people haven't met you and they heard of you, they probably have only heard positive things, which is a great thing, you know. So your name is synonymous with joy and excellence and Yeah. So
Well, thank you
thank
so
you very
much. You
much.
might not be a tutor of your own horn, but you sure taking mine. I'm feeling kind of shy now, but I
Oh,
do
I can toot
appreciate
people's horns. I can toot people's horns very well. I can do that. That's good.
it. And I sure
So
appreciate it. Good job, you and Phil Fellow also. He contacted me to arrange this interview to
yeah.
make sure it happened. He's doing a great job, director of publicity. So anyway, I'm looking forward to the date, the big event.
Yeah, yeah. So yep. So we'll talk about that, and
Okay,
we'll yeah. So I'll close the interview off here, and then
okay,
we can hash out and talk about the good old best of JALT stuff and whatnot, the details later.
okay.
Okay, let me
All
just hit
right,
the
thank you.